You've referenced it several times, and I think that it'll be a place that a lot of people go in cash this week, and it's the Rams wide receivers. And this is a spot that we essentially have to target this week. The Seahawks defense is on pace to be the worst defense against the pass in NFL history. They're giving up nearly 13 more points to wide receivers in fantasy than the next closest team on a weekly basis. And this isn't like a sneaky play. You know, everybody knows this. Cooper Kupp at 6,900, Robert Woods at 6,600, and even Josh Reynolds at 3,500, I think, are all going to be some of the highest projecting players on a points per dollar sense in terms of their value projections. I think they'll all have ownerships. Kupp will probably be the highest owned, and you know, how are you going to be sorting through these guys this week? Because I think that it's tough to do.
Cooper Kupp, one for me, is easily my favorite Rams wide receiver, and then Robert Woods, and then Josh Reynolds. I think Cooper Kupp has the higher ceiling out of these three players, and I think he has a higher chance of seeing more targets as Jared Goff's preferred wide receiver when the Rams are losing. And then obviously Robert Woods at 6,600 is a great play. And, you know, his ceiling, I think, is as high as Cooper Kupp's. He has 30 plus point potential, and his floor is pretty safe. He has a 19% target share on the season, so you know you're going to get targets out of those two guys. And then if you want to go the Devontae Adams route, you're probably going to go the Josh Reynolds route to get Adams in there. And at 3,500, I think Reynolds is a fine play with seeing, you know, 8 to 9 targets over the last 2 or 3 games. And like you mentioned, just a great spot for the Seahawks. You said they're giving up 13 more fantasy points to opposing wide receivers to the next closest team. Well, to put that into perspective, the Seahawks are giving up 59.81 points per game on DraftKings to opposing wide receivers. The Titans are in second, giving up 46. So giving up almost 60 fantasy points per game is literally incredible. And you just want to target the Rams. It's that simple. Target Goff, target Woods, target Kupp.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with your original ranking of Kupp, Woods, Reynolds in terms of raw points. But I think that Reynolds has a shot to be the best value, the best point per dollar play, because he comes at such a discount, over 3,000 cheaper than Robert Woods. And Reynolds has had a really consistent role in this offense. I think people were kind of skeptical of him because in the past, when Brandon Cooks was there, he used to sort of just be an exclusive backup to, you know, if any of the three guys went out, they'd plug Reynolds in, and then they drafted Van Jefferson in the second round. So people sort of assumed it was over for Reynolds, but he has really maintained his role as the, you know, third wide receiver in the Rams offense. He's played 72% of snaps or more in 4 straight games, 17 targets over the last 2 weeks. And at 3,500, if this were any other week where we were on, you know, the quote unquote normal build where we're paying up for running back and looking for value at wide receiver, I think Josh Reynolds would be a lock in all formats. So it's a different type of roster construction week, which may suppress his ownership, what his ownership would be in a given week. But I mean, Josh Reynolds is going to be one of my favorite plays, especially if you get, you know, an owner